Hello student, welcome back to our MSc Second Physics semester 3rd course, that is Physics of Semiconductor Devices, and our subject code is a PSCT 231, and we are studying our 4th module, that is a Metal and Metal Insulator Semiconductor Devices. And in our previous video we have mentioned about the two types of the diodes, that is a impact diode and the second one is the MIS diode. In our previous video we have completed impact diode. We have seen about the structure of the impact diode, how it works, and how how there is a formation of the junction at within a impact diode and how it works and where it is used. Also we have discussed about the some applications and also advantages and disadvantages of the impact diode. Now in this video we have to discuss about the second type of the diode, that is a MIS diode. And the MIS diode is nothing but the metal insulator semiconductor diode, and in this we have to see the ideal metal insulator semiconductor diode. So let's see ideal metal insulator semiconductor diode, that is a MIS diode. MIS diode is useful in a study of semiconductor surfaces. That means it generally used to study the semiconductor surfaces. That means how the semiconductor surface behave when which is in a contact with the insulator, and it is a 3-layer device. That means the name indicate that is a metal insulator semiconductor diode. That means there are 3 regions in the or 3 main types in the MIS diode, that is a metal insulator and semiconductor material. The semiconductor which is either P type or N type, and we know that the insulator is a only insulator, there is no N or something like that, like a semiconductor and metal. So this is the 3-layer device, that is a metal insulator, and first is a metal, second is the insulator, and third one is the semiconductor. So but how it made, that is a construction of MIS diode is a simple. It consists of 3 layers of metal insulator semiconductor, and which is shown in the figure. As already mentioned, it is a 3-layer device, that is a metal insulator and semiconductor, and which is shown in the following figure. That means in this figure the top part is the metal, after that there is a insulator, and again after that there is a semiconductor. So this is the 3-layer device, and again this 3-layer device is connected to the another system. So we can use this system. Bottom layer is made up of semiconductor and top portion is of metal. That means the MIS diode, the bottom layer of the MIS diode is nothing but the semiconductor, that is this layer is the semiconductor layer, and the top portion is the metal. The insulator is a sandwiched in between top metal and bottom semiconductor layer. That means there is a insulator material and which is sandwiched in between the top metal and bottom semiconductor layer, which is shown in the figure. So the insulator is a present in between the metal and semiconductor. Let D is the thickness of the insulator and V is the applied voltage and N metal filled plate. So these are the some quantities, that is a V is the applied voltage, that is the external voltage, N is the metal filled plate which help to transport the carriers, and D is the thickness of the insulator. So the middle part is the insulator and the thickness of that part is nothing but the small d. V is a positive when metal plate is a positively biased, and V is a negative when the metal plate is a negatively biased with respect to the contact. That means if we define the biasing with respect to the contact, when applied voltage is a positive then metal plate is a positively biased, and when applied voltage is negative then obviously metal plate is a negatively biased, and all those things with respect to the contact, that means the contact to the metal and semiconductor. And the following figure is the metal insulator semiconductor diode, that is the different layers which are present in the metal insulator semiconductor diode. Now how it works. So let's see the energy band diagram for metal semiconductor, which is for P type semiconductor, an insulator and again metal semiconductor but n-type semiconductor insulator in MIS diode for V is equal to 0 as shown in figure A and B. So how the junction formed at the metal semiconductor and insulator contact. So but this case is different for the semiconductor when which is used as a p-type semiconductor or when it is a n-type semiconductor. The conditions are different. So the first figure shows the metal semiconductor and the particular semiconductor type is the p-type insulator energy band relation, and second is the for n-type semiconductor. So this is the first figure. In this figure the left hand side is a metal and in between metal and semiconductor there is a insulator, that is a middle part, and the right hand side is nothing but the semiconductor material. So this is the 3-layer device. In between metal and semiconductor there is a insulator and the thickness of this insulator is nothing but the D, and when applied voltage is a V. So all this situation happens when there is a external voltage. We before considered there is external voltage, but here we taken into account when V is equal to 0, that is there is no external voltage, just we kept the metal insulator and semiconductor in contact with each other. We know that in a metal there is a Fermi level, that is the level at which the electrons are filled in the metal. Also we know that metal has some work function, that is a Q phi m. Again when we brought these three materials in contact with each other, then there is a formation of junction, obviously deflection region, and so that there is a formation of the barrier, that is a Q phi b is nothing but the barrier, Q chi I is nothing but the insulator electron affinity, and above the top part of the figure is nothing but the vacuum level. Again the middle part is again insulator. Again after that the right hand side is a semiconductor material. We know that in a semiconductor material there is a valence band, conduction band, intrinsic level, Fermi level. Again we know that here we consider generally the p-type semiconductor. Here the particular case is the p-type semiconductor, and we know that in a p-type semiconductor there is a minority charge carrier are the electrons and majority charge carriers are the holes. So the Fermi level lies towards the valence band. So EF is the Fermi level and which is lies towards the valence band. Q phi b is the semiconductor work function. Eg by 2 is nothing but the band gap, and Q chi is nothing but the semiconductor electron affinity. So this is the metal semiconductor p-type insulator energy band relation. Now second figure is the metal semiconductor but n-type semiconductor insulator energy band relation. Here the situation is different only because of the n-type semiconductor. We know that in n-type semiconductor the majority charge carriers are the electrons and minority charge carriers are the holes. So the Fermi energy lies towards the conduction band. So only difference is that the Fermi energy level lies towards the conduction band, and again the remain situation will remain same. So this is the metal semiconductor but n-type insulator energy band relationship. Next one is the, we know that there is a formation of the junction, but what happened when the semiconductor and insulator get contact with each other. So this situation which is shown in this figure, that is a energy band diagram of interface of p-type semiconductor and insulator. Here we consider only p-type semiconductor and insulator. On the right hand side there is a semiconductor material and on the left hand side there is a insulator material. We know that again in a semiconductor valence band, conduction band, intrinsic level, Fermi level, and here we consider the p-type material. So the Fermi level lies towards the valence band. Q phi b is nothing but the work function of the semiconductor. But how the interface states are formed at the insulator semiconductor junction, that is there is a bending of the bands, that is valence band as well as the conduction band. The conduction band goes towards the downward and the valence band goes towards the upward. So according to the intrinsic level will shift and the Fermi level remains as it is. So there is a formation of the interface at the metal, at the insulator and the semiconductor contact. So this is the energy band diagram for that. Now there are different quantities which are shown in the figure. So Eg is the band gap, that is the Eg is a band gap for semiconductor material generally. Phi b is the potential barrier between metal and insulator, that means there is a metal and after that there is a insulator part and there is a formation of the potential barrier, which is nothing but the phi b. Q is the electron charge, phi m is the metal work function as we already discussed about it. D is the insulator thickness, EC is the energy level at the conduction band, again EV is the energy level in the valence band, EF is the Fermi level, EI is the intrinsic Fermi level, that means we know that in a pure semiconductor material, that is there is no doping, then the intrinsic level lies at the middle of that conduction band and the valence band. So this is the EI. Chi is the semiconductor electron affinity, chi I is the insulator electron affinity. For insulator, so suffix is the I, so chi I is the insulator electron affinity. Phi b is the potential difference between Fermi level EF and the intrinsic Fermi level EI, that is a phi b is the just potential difference between two energy levels, that is EF and EI. In an ideal MIS diode, at a zero applied bias energy difference between the metal work function and the semiconductor work function is 0. This is the property of the MIS diode. Up to this we have considered only the different terms which are used for the study of the energy band diagram for the MIS diode. But when we consider the ideal MIS diode, then if we put applied voltage is on 0, that is the applied voltage is 0, then the energy difference between the metal work function and the semiconductor work function is 0. So first we have to find the metal work function and the semiconductor work function, and this difference is the 0. So and this difference we denote it as that is a phi ms, which is equal to phi m minus chi plus Eg by 2q minus phi b equal to 0, and this is for n-type material because there is a minus sign for the phi b, that is for n-type material, that is for n-type semiconductor material. Using n-type semiconductor material, the barrier height phi b, here we take this for that barrier potential with the negative sign for the n-type material, and for the p-type material which is a positive. Only difference is that, and the second for phi ms is for p-type is equal to phi m minus chi plus Eg by 2q plus phi b, and all this quantity is a bracket which is equal to 0, and this is for p-type. So this is the relationship between the metal work function and the semiconductor work function for the ideal MIS diode, but when the applied voltage is 0, where phi m, chi, phi b are the metal work function, semiconductor electron affinity and potential barrier between the Fermi level and intrinsic Fermi level. So these all are the different parameter, already we consider it, that is already we considered them, that is phi m is a metal work function, chi is the electron affinities which is either for semiconductor or the insulator. For semiconductor we take chi, and for the insulator we take chi I. Phi b is the barrier height or the potential barrier between the Fermi level and the intrinsic Fermi level. There is no carrier transport through the insulator under the DC biasing condition, or resistivity of insulator is infinity. We know that generally in a insulator there is no free charge carriers, so that the conductivity of the insulator is less as compared to the semiconductor and conductors. So generally the insulator acts as a resistive material, and the resistivity of this material is infinity. So when we apply DC biasing condition to the insulator part, then there is no current transport or there is no carrier transport through the insulator. So this is the property of the insulator. When an ideal MIS diode is biased with positive or negative voltages, basically three cases may exist at the semiconductor surface. Up to this we have considered when V is equal to 0, but what happens when V is not equal to 0? If we apply the V which is either positive or negative, then what happens? So first here we take three cases. First is the accumulation, second is the deflection stage, and third one is the inversion stage. So first we start with the accumulation stage. Consider p-type semiconductor. When negative voltage is applied to the metal plate of the top of the valence band bends upward and is closer to the Fermi level. That is, in the accumulation state, actually what happens when we consider p-type semiconductor, that is, in p-type semiconductor the majority charge carriers are the hole and minority charge carriers are the electrons. When negative voltage, here is the negative voltage applied to the metal plate, then we know that the metal plate is negatively biased and the top of the valence band bends. That means, see, if we consider the top of the valence band of the semiconductor material and which bends in a upward direction, that means towards the Fermi level. In a p-type semiconductor, the Fermi level is lies towards the valence band. So when valence band moves in upward direction, then it get closer to the Fermi level. So this is the situation when we apply the negative voltage to the metal plate. For an ideal MIS diode, no current flows in the structure, so Fermi level remains constant in the semiconductor. So if we consider the ideal MIS diode, then there is no current flow in the structure of in the whole structure. So the Fermi level remains constant in the semiconductor. But when there is a current, then obviously there is a shifting of the Fermi level, but there is no current due to there is an insulator material in between semiconductor and metal, so there is no current, and so the Fermi levels remains as it is in the semiconductor material. Since the carrier density depends exponentially on the energy difference, this band bending causes an accumulation case. Only the dependence of the band bending is depend on only the energy difference, that is the carrier density is only depend on the energy difference. That means the energy difference between the metal and metal work function and the semiconductor work function, and this band bending occurs due to that difference and accumulation case is achieved. So this is the accumulation stage. Second stage is the depletion stage. When small positive voltage is applied to the band bend downward and majority carriers are deflected, this is named as a deflection case. Before the deflection stage, we have considered the accumulation state. In the accumulation state, we consider the negative voltage, but in this case we consider the small positive voltage. When we apply this small positive voltage, then there is again band bending, and this band bending occurs in a downward direction and the majority charge carriers gets deflected, and due to deflection of that charge carriers, there is a formation of the deflection stage. Third stage is the inversion stage. Actually in this stage there is an inversion process, so the name indicate that inversion stage. When the large positive voltage is applied, then the band bend even more downward so that the intrinsic level EI at the surface crosses over the Fermi level. That means when we apply more or the large positive voltage, the band bending obviously occurs in a downward direction, but this band bending is a more, and the band bending is more such that the intrinsic level EI in the semiconductor at the surface crosses over the Fermi level. So this is the situation when we apply the large positive voltage. This is the energy band diagram for ideal MIS diodes when V is a non-zero for the accumulation, deflection and inversion stages. When in the accumulation, deflection and inversion stages, we apply sometimes negative voltage, and negative voltage in the accumulation state, some positive voltage in the deflection state, and some larger voltage than the deflection stage is the positive voltage, that is in inversion stage. So what happens when we apply all this voltage? This is the energy band diagram for that. First, the LHS LHS band diagram is for p-type material, and the right hand side diagram is for the n-type material. Generally we know that in p-type material the Fermi level lies towards the valence band. So first situation which is shown in the following, which is shown in this figure, and again how the banding takes place, how the band bending takes place, which is shown in the figure for the p-type and n-type semiconductor material under the accumulation, deflection and inversion stages. First, A figure is for the accumulation, B figure for the deflection and C for the inversion. So for the p-type material, the band bending is in upward direction, and for the n-type material, the band bending is in the downward direction for the deflection stage. But in the inversion stage, the band bending for the p-type material is in the downward direction. Again same, but more band bending because more voltage is applied. Again here is also criteria is the same for the inversion stage, but the bending takes place more as compared to the deflection because the voltage applied is more. But in accumulation stage the situation will reverse because there is a negative voltage, that is a band bending takes place in the downward direction for the p-type material and opposite to the n-type material, that is in the upward direction there is a band bending. So this is the situation when we apply the negative voltage, positive voltage, small amount of positive voltage and large amount of positive voltage for p-type and n-type material. So this is the case. At this point the number of electrons, that is a minority carriers at the surface, is larger than that of the holes. The surface is said to be inverted. This is named as the inversion case. That means at that particular point the number of electrons, that is a minority carriers, number of electrons these are the minority carriers, means this is the p-type semiconductor material at the surface is larger than that of the holes. That means in the p-type material there are the minority charge carriers, right? But in the n-type material the minority charge carriers are the holes. But in this case at that particular point the minority charge carrier concentration is larger than the holes, so surface is said to be inverted. So the name of this stage is the inversion case. So these all are the different stages which help us to explain the working principle of the MIS diode, that is the accumulation stage, deflection stage, and the last one is the inversion stage. So in this way we can explain the ideal MIS diode. It is also very important diode. It is used for the various application. Generally it is a 3-layer device, so it is widely used for the different application. So in this way we have covered these two types of the diode, that is IMPACT diode and the MIS diode, that is a metal insulator semiconductor diode. Now in our next video we have to discuss about the space charge per unit area for the MIS diode. So in our next video we will start with the expression for the space charge for the ideal MIS diode.